is the most important thing you learned through all of this COVID times that might change your life? Has it changed your why? Have you rewritten your goals? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. This is What is Your Why? Part 2. And we've got more information and stories and figuring out what is your why right here. So stay tuned. This is Deb Meyer with OdorXit. We are the best odor eliminator products in the world. Let's go big. That's my why. Go big. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you will hit the subscribe button down at the bottom, that will notify you anytime we post new videos, and you'll get to learn more about what is your why in your life. So today we're going to tell stories. You can go down in the kind of chat bar down at the right-hand side and type in if you have questions, comments, stories you want to share. We'd love to hear from you, and if you've changed anything in your life besides being locked in your bedroom during these crazy times. Now, have you noticed they just came out and said face masks don't make a difference? So why do we wear them? Why are people wearing them outside? Those are other why questions, but not why are we here and why do we do what we do? Why do we get out of bed in the morning? And actually, I've kind of changed my why this morning. A different reason to get out of bed. It's not really a new why. I guess I got to talk about it yesterday on a Zoom call with some healthcare people. So it put it more in the forefront for me that helped me get out of bed. And that's what life is all about, getting out of bed and making a difference in the world. And my why changed, that I spoke anyway, is to get OdorXit in the care facilities across the country. If you're here, you're listening to this because you've probably used OdorXit, or you just stumbled across this and want to know what OdorXit's about. But so it's great, and it does what it says it does. And we've got small handfuls of nursing homes, care facilities, assisted living that use our product and love it. I want more. I want more because it makes people's lives better. You walk into a nursing home, how many of you ever walked in and went, I need to leave, it does not smell good in here? Well, when they use OdorXit, that's not so. And if they're using OdorXit, people don't want to leave. People don't mind leaving their family members there. It's a heart-wrenching decision to put your families into one of those facilities. And anything you can do to make it better, just knowing it smells good, tells you they're taking care of the facility. They're most likely going to take care of my loved one too. And in these COVID times, man, is it tough. I was calling on a nursing home right at the beginning of the nursing home lockdown. I mean, that was kind of the where that all started, because out in Washington, a lot of people got the disease in a nursing home, as maybe Oregon. Anyway, out on the West Coast. And so that was kind of the first place. The elderly in those facilities are the most vulnerable with other diseases, their age, lessened immune system at that age. So, I was there the first day. They were taking temperatures of everybody who came in. And we talked, and I totally forgot where I was going with this story. Isn't that sad? But people turn around and, oh, I know, when I went out to the parking lot. Sorry. When I was leaving, the guy that had parked next to me was there. And I made some comment to him, and he goes, I talked to my sister. He's, I don't know, 60, 70 years old. So I talked my sister into coming to this nursing home because she had fallen, broken her hip, and she needed help recovering. And we couldn't take care of her at home anymore. I mean, she'll get better, I'm sure. She just needed some attention at the moment, and we couldn't do it. And I talked her into being here, and now they won't let me in to see her. So not only did I talk her into being there, but they've locked her up, and she can't even see family. And I don't know how coherent she was. I assume good enough, but they could have called her on the phone and talked. And she's had a window room. He could stand in the parking lot and talk to her. But if you're like me, it's not the same as hugging a person or even shaking their hand. We're missing so much being separated from people. Making their stay in those places where they're isolated from their family, they're isolated from the care people because the care people don't want to give them anything. So they're delivering the food and leaving, delivering the medicine and leaving their room, shutting it behind them. A friend of mine's mom is talking to the TV as if those were the real people that were in her room. She called my friend and said, "Are you watching Trump on the TV?" "No, Mom, I fell asleep." "Well, I'm afraid I'm the only one here listening to him, and if I leave, he'll just be talking to nobody. And I don't want to hurt his feelings. He's a nice man. But I gotta go to bed." I mean, that's just a heart-wrenching story that she's so, and her daughter was visiting her a couple times a day because she put her in this facility very near to her home. And it's breaking both of their hearts to be separated. Making these places smell just a little bit better by using OdorXit, that is my why. And I was able to express that on a call yesterday when you go around and introduce yourselves. And it just kind of changed my willingness to get up out of bed this morning, what I do, why I do it. And for the question I asked when we came on, what has changed? It's the most important thing that I've learned or I've changed from all of this. And I need to work harder getting it into these facilities so that the people there have just a little bit better life because it smells good. What have you changed in your life? Have you done anything from our previous talks that we've talked about? What have you learned? Have you given any more thought to your own why in your life? Why makes your jobs easier. If you want me to move the chopped up tree logs that the tree cutter downer left in my yard, where do you want me to move them? Why do you want me to move them there? Knowing the why in any job makes it easier and people more willing to do it. Well, it's kind of where we used to park the cars every night. Oh, okay, so I guess they can't be there. Why do you want me to take out the trash? Well, don't do it for a few weeks and see what it smells like. Why do you want people to do what you want them to do? Knowing that why is truly important, and getting it done and being calm and patient and doing that job for somebody else. There was a collection agency that, I don't know if, of course, it's never happened to me. If anybody's ever called you and said, "You know what, you haven't paid this bill, when are you going to be able to pay it? You're late." That did happen to me a few years ago. We weren't rock bottom, but yet they were at the door knocking, calling, "When are you going to pay this bill? When are you going to pay this bill?" And half of the people, well, more than half, 99% of the people were nasty. "You're late. It's been 3 months. It's been 6 months, whatever the time period is. You need to get some money in here." And if you send them $5 a month, they can't call you because you're paying something. But when they're nasty, when they're jumping on your case and being belligerent and telling you, you signed this piece of paper and you better do what you said you're going to do, or we're going to bring our attorneys in and blah, 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 blah. How much do you really want to go write that check and get them a payment, whether it's $5 or $500? Sorry, Charlie, but I did have some people who called and I knew I owed the money and I was trying to pay it, but the money wasn't there. It's true. You can't get blood out of a turnip. The people who called that were nice to me and actually listened, I was willing to put them in front of the line of the checks I was writing. And there was a woman who, when she got out of school, she went to work for a collection agency. And she goes, I met all these people and they were very nice. They listened to each other's problems. They talked to each other very kindly and very helpful, and, didn't butt in line in cafeterias and stuff like that. She said, these were good people. But as soon as they got on the phone, trying to call these people for the collection agency and trying to get money from them, they were nasty and belligerent and just beating these people up, trying to get money. Why? Well, the agency actually measured the success of these phone callers by how much money they brought in. And they felt like beating people up over the phone, telling them what a low-life scumball you are if you don't pay your bill by the 20th of the month, you're going to hell in a handbasket, was the way to get that money. And they got bonuses by being nasty and getting payments in. Well, she noticed that, she started out, as she kept calling, she realized that she was becoming nasty like they were and trying to get money from these people. So she kind of stood back and went, you know what? That's not my why. That's not why I'm here. That's not what I want to do. What can I do different? How can I make a difference and really follow my heart, follow my why, and still have money coming in and still get the bonuses? So she quit that job. She started her own collection agency. Her collection agency was based on her why. You got paid, and this sounds ridiculous, but it works. You got paid by the number of thank you notes you were able to write to the people who owed you money for them working out a payment plan and getting money to come in. So they didn't measure the results by how much money you collected. They measured the results by the thank you notes that people received. Wow. So first of all, she had to hire people that were willing to do that were willing to listen to the people, why they were late, what was going on in their life, how could they make their next payment, can they put your bill in front of the line. You had to be willing to listen and talk to people. This is, I used to sell or do short sales in my real estate investment career, which is how I got into OdorXit, by buying stinky houses. There's a full circle. But I had to listen to these people, and all they wanted was somebody to listen to them. The bank wasn't about to, because again, they were the nasty people. You're going to lose your house if you don't make your house payment. You're already 2 months late. You're 3 months late. You're 6 months late. When are you going to start paying us? We're going to take you to court. Degrading people doesn't make them want to do something for you. So this woman had to follow her why and find people who were in the same boat, who would be willing to listen to people, to find out what had happened. And then for me in the short sale business, I could hear their story. Maybe the husband broke his leg at work and he couldn't go to work, and it took 3-6 months to heal. He was out of a job. Workers' comp didn't pay enough. But at some point, he would be back to work and be able to catch up on his house. If his whole business closed and he can't find a job and maybe, oh, he's a tuck pointer. That's kind of a dying breed. It's where you put concrete in between your bricks on your house. How many people know that? Try and find one. And doing plaster work. Oh, that's a difficult time trying to find somebody who does good plaster work anymore. With a lath, those are old houses. Now we have drywall and we do mud, and we tape it, mud it, sand it, paint it, we're done. Easy to find somebody to do that. But if your job didn't exist anymore and you couldn't get a job, then yeah, you needed help to get out of your house. So did it make sense to do a short sale? Did it make sense to catch up their payments? How could you help them? And listening was the only way to really know that. That's what she did in her collection agency, was listen to these people, see how she could help them, see how she could get money and get them to pay and get them to catch up, and send a thank you note for making those payments. As funny would have it, her collection agency collected 300% more than the previous collection agencies that used the battering technique. Isn't that crazy? So my mom was right. You can get more with honey than with vinegar. Did your mom ever say that to you? Of course they did somewhere. They all went to school together. Well, I don't care if you lived in Florida or Washington State. They all went to school together and they do those things. Excuse me. So she was able to fulfill her why, get people to pay the money and measure it by something besides money, because money can't be your why. If the drug dealers, their why is money and they'll kill you if you don't pay. Not a great model. We had a construction company as well, and they thrived on work-life balance. That was the owner's why. He wanted to be sure that people did a good job at work while being at home. He felt like you could clock in you had to clock in and clock out every day. You had to clock in between 8 and 8:30, and you had to clock out between 5 and 5:30. You couldn't stay later. If you did, you lost points and they took incentive away from you, commissions away from you. So think about how you work the day before vacation. You clean up everything. You finish, you tie up ends. You call people and say, I'll be back to you in 6 days, 7 days, another week, 2 weeks. You straighten up your desk. You finish up all the things that, you're going to do on Monday. Now you're going to do them on Friday and get those done. I mean, think if every day we worked that hard to get our tasks completed. Well, with his model of clocking in and always clocking out at 5:30, he felt like people were doing the why. They were balancing their home life. They were getting the work done. They were being much more effective at work. And they were able to balance their home life and work life. So what can you do in your life? What measuring sticks can you do in your home life to benefit your why, to follow your why? If mine is getting into those nursing homes, what structured plan am I going to have during the day? How many calls am I going to make? How many places am I going to drop by? Okay, well, we kind of know the answer to that. They can sit on the porch and hope they come out and get the right person. I actually did that not too long ago, dropping product off, sat in the front porch and sat in their rocker, and somebody came out and says, can I help you? Well, I am waiting for somebody. I did have an appointment, but so we're not doing too much cold calling. We're not knocking on doors as strangers and seeing if people are interested. So it is emailing But so a plan. Who was I going to talk to? What was I going to say to them? How many of those a day? How can I get referrals? How can I get other care facilities to say great things that's going to influence Barbara over at the other care facility, or even the owners of the 5 different care facilities under that one umbrella, or the 10. I mean, who do you get to? You got to start writing a plan. And that's kind of what we talked about. I think that was in Renovation of the Mind number 2. I could be wrong. But we have talked about a plan. And this is important to our day. If I plan my day, and ideally you plan it the night before, I know exactly what I got to get done the next day. Okay, I will admit I'm not the one that clocks out between 5 and 5:30. Having an office in your home makes that too easy not to. I was out all day yesterday making some deliveries. They're hardware stores, so people are allowed in. And did you hear that wearing a mask doesn't make any difference? So I go in without a mask, but the stores kind of, for protection of their employees or perception of their employees and for their customers, they are wearing masks. But I dropped the stuff off. I knew where I was going to be, all the places I had to go. And I'd been out of the office for, probably I left at 2 and I got home probably at 6. But I knew that I had things I had to get done on the computer. And I come in and spent half hour, 45 minutes before dinner answering those emails that I had missed all day. So I'll tell you what, though, I am spending less time in the office in these Corona times. I can't say most days I'm more effective, but I try real hard to be. And I have to admit, I have not yet done that video I promised to do. I haven't even done it, not alone posted it. So how are your goals coming? I hope they're coming better than mine. Have you written them down? And maybe with all this Corona thing and looking at the most important thing you've learned through all this, is it changing your why? And are you writing down what those changes might be and what those plans could be and what your next steps are going to be? No goal ever really gets accomplished unless you write it down and put down your milestones. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to have this accomplished in a week. I'm going to have this accomplished in a month, in 3 months, etc. Really, really important. So have you done that? Are you thinking about doing that? Have you talked to your kids? What is their why this summer, now that it's a much longer summer than we ever anticipated? And actually, the summer's tough getting started if you classify summer as warm weather. Let's see. So you really need to think about, has your passion changed? Because it's okay to fail. So if what you would originally plan to do has changed, it's okay. Look at what you were going to do. Look at what you want to do. Look at what you've learned from all that and change direction. The only reason that you fail is because you stop doing anything towards your goal, because you don't get back up again. You get depressed and don't go forward. Going forward is always the right direction, but sometimes in business and life, we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and it's called learning. And it's okay. We just got to keep, what is the theme? Keep on keeping on. That's what it is. And be you. Be you. That's really, really important to do what you want to do. So reevaluate your why. Know why you want to do your why and figure out how to measure it. So we talked a couple stories about how other people measured their why. Mine is going to be, How many more nursing facilities can I get into? What other means can I use to get to the people who make those decisions? Apartment owners, people who buy houses, people who sell houses, realtors, homeowners, all need OdorXit. And I want them to know it's out there and make a difference in their life and sell their property for the best market value they can get. But my why right now is really for the nursing homes, so that, quarantine can be just a little bit better. I took a shower this morning. There's a little carpet rug thing to absorb the water when you get out of the shower right in front. And then there's a towel on top of there. And I walked in there and went, ooh, somewhere the cat has peed. He's our we got him when he was 6 months old. He's probably 10 or 11 months old now. And he has never peed outside the box. Oh, but you know what? You know how you can tell cat pee, what it smells like. So I smelled that this morning and had to find it. I still want to help those people. We have the answer for that. I picked it all up, put the little carpet, put the towel in the washing machine with the one little pump spray of OdorXit, concentrate, eliminator, and it's waiting for me when this is over. Life still goes on, but I want to be able to help those people too. But my goal right now is to make life better in the confinements, and those people are confined in their homes too, but in a little bit bigger home, a little bit more loved ones around them, and we need to make their lives better. So make your why reaching out to others. Make those phone calls. Call somebody you hadn't thought about or you worried about, or in another state where the lockdown's tighter. Virginia, call them. They need help. They need people to talk to. And let's see. Nope, won't be next week. So hang in there. Be positive. Hug people virtually. Shake their hand virtually. Always smile. Smiling at people in those masks. They're scared behind there. They're listening to the news. And we talked about that the very first week and probably every week since. You got to turn the news off. You got to do what's smart and what's good for you. And now they're saying masks don't help. Do gloves help? Take care of yourselves. Think about your why. I'm not sure what our topic's going to be next week, but I know I'll come up with something. So stay tuned. Please hit the subscribe button. And, tell me your why. Nobody's typed in anything down here in our little chat box. I'd love to hear your why and what you're doing towards it. Or you can send something to deb@odorexit.com or even info@odorexit.com. Either one gets to me. I love to hear from you. Keep smiling. Make your life better than it's ever been before. We have a choice, and that's what you need to choose. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week for Renovation of the Mind.